Okay, Dr. RJB here, and today I wanted to discuss a topic that's, again, one of these controversial topics, and that's whether it's a good idea to exercise if you have arthritis. Um, now, um, you know, uh, arthritis as you get older is caused by a wearing down of the cartilage of the joints. So if you have knee arthritis like I do, you have a joint where the cartilage has been worn down. Some people have asked, is it a good idea to exercise, which may wear down the cartilage faster? Um, and you know what research has basically proven is that exercise helps with the function of the joints, and function is where it's all at. Um, what I used to tell my patients: if you have pain, take a pill. But if you have loss of function, that's when you might need a joint replacement. Um, because it's not so much whether it hurts or not, but what can you do? If you can't get out of your chair because your knees are so bad that you can't move, then you're disabled. But if it just hurts, you're not disabled, you're just in pain. And there's a difference between pain and disability. Um, you can be in the pain all the time, but if you can do everything that you need to do, you're not disabled. Um, you can be in pain and cook dinner. You can be in pain and dress yourself. You can be in pain and go up the stairs. Um, but if you can't do these things, if you can't cook your dinner, if you can't dress yourself, if you can't go up the stairs, if you can't get out of the chair, you're disabled. So it doesn't matter if you're not in pain if you can't get out of the chair. Um, basically that's where it's at, it's function. And exercise improves function of the joints. Now, uh, they also have done studies of uh, of the progress of progression of arthritis, it should be, sorry. Um, and they looked at basketball players. Now, one of people's um, uh, understanding is that if you're doing a lot of running and jumping on hard surfaces, it's going to cause more arthritis. So they look at basketball players because they're running and jumping on a hard court. As a matter of fact, the way basketball courts are made, underneath that basketball court is usually cement or some other hard surface. So there's not a lot of shock absorption on a basketball court. Um, it's kind of like running outside on the basketball court that's made of cement. It's not that much better running on the wooden floors of the basketball court. Um, uh, so they looked at retired basketball players to see how much arthritis that they had in their knees. And then they also took as a control sample, they looked at people who don't exercise much at all. They looked at accountants. Now, accountants sit at their desk all day long and they're adding up numbers. They really don't get a lot of exercise on the job. Um, they looked at somebody who doesn't do anything with their joints and somebody who does a lot with their joints, the basketball players. And they looked at retired accountants and they looked at the retired basketball players and they compared the two. And when they looked at the x-rays and MRIs of the knee joints of the basketball players and the accountants, um, you would think that the accountants would have these great knees. Unfortunately, no. The basketball players had fairly good joints and the accountants had pretty bad joints. Um, they also did a study in the Olympics. Again, you would think marathon runners would have these horrible knees. So they looked at marathon runners and then they looked at soccer players in the Olympics. They looked at weightlifters in the Olympics. And they compared their knee joints. The marathon runners actually had the best joints when they retired. The soccer players were next because Some of the reasons for arthritis in the knee is because of injury. And people who play soccer, they have some injury involved because of twisting their knee joints and ankles, etc. The weightlifters had the worst joints. And that's because in weightlifting in the Olympics, you take a heavy weight and you throw it over your head. And you're using your knee, the force of your knee joints to throw that weight. Um, and so those people, put a lot of pressure on the knee joints. Um, uh, Sometimes, if you watch the Olympics, occasionally they actually fail to lift, and then they basically crush down on their knees. So there is some risk of injury with the weightlifting also. Um, so the weightlifters had the worst knees. The soccer players were next, but the best knees were actually the marathon runners, even though the marathon runners run for 26 miles. Um, so that's the thing with arthritis. You would think arthritis would be terrible for exercise. It's really not. It improves function. It actually improves pain also. Um, because when you exercise, you improve something called the endorphin system. And the endorphin is our pain relieving system. Um, uh, I've told this story also that me and my wife used to go for long walks. We would go for walks of sometimes 10 miles. And we both had arthritis. So each step was ouch, ooch, ouch, ooch, ouch, ooch. But then, the thing is that the next day, we both noticed that we had significantly less pain after we had exercise for that period of time. So we enjoyed our walks, even though the walks were uncomfortable. And the next day, our knee joints would feel fine. Um, so that's how you have it done. The arthritis, even though you have arthritis, it's still good to exercise, and you're going to improve your joints with the exercise. Okay, take care, guys.